Welcome, dear viewers, to CFO Today International. I'm Sister Laura Ibanez, and today we will be visiting Hong Kong to meet the Arenas family, a family that is deeply committed to education, community, and finding balance in their busy lives. As we explore their journey today, we'll learn how they manage to juggle all the responsibilities while also embracing simple yet meaningful ways to give back. Their story will show us how, despite their own challenges, they remain hopeful, compassionate, and dedicated to making a difference in the lives of others.
Hello everyone, I'm Marlon. I work as an ICT head at an international school here in Hong Kong. I've been here in Hong Kong since 2001, and this is where I started my family. I am the head deacon in the local congregation of Hong Kong East.
Hi everyone, I'm Joy. I'm a co-founder of a fintech company that caters to migrant workers in Hong Kong. Prior to this, I was working as an assistant professor at a university in Hong Kong. I am a finance officer in the local congregation of Hong Kong East.
So right now, I'm working at a school where my two daughters are attending school. So one of the biggest perks that I receive from this job is the opportunity to be with my daughters and watch them grow. It has, of course, it has its advantages and disadvantages, right? They feel that they're always grounded, but that's okay. So in our daily commute, we actually get to talk about things like, like what made you sad yesterday? What's challenging yesterday? Or what's exciting about today? So that's our daily commute activity.
Ever since I was young, I grew up in a family where education is super valued. My parents instill in me to always aim for excellence, like even my siblings. There's always an expectation to get good grades, and they also reinforce it. There's always a reward attached to every good grades that we show to our parents. And in a way, I took this, I also apply this method of like reinforcing my kids to encourage them to do their best in school. Not necessarily to be the top of the class, but just do your best in everything that they do. My husband and I always encourage them to acquire new skills. So education, not necessarily you have a university degree, but the opportunity to learn is always there. They should grab it. They should be smart enough to, grab the opportunity to learn things, especially in Hong Kong where technology is available to kids at a very young age. So they should find ways, or we also provide them resources for them to learn about coding, introduce them about AI, and also gadgets that will help them develop their skills. They know how to edit videos. I moved to Hong Kong in 2006 after we got married. So I used to study in Thailand for my master's degree. I worked here and then eventually took my PhD in one of the universities here in Hong Kong. My dissertation then was about financial management of migrant workers in Hong Kong.
So some of the values that we try to instill to our kids are: one, integrity; compassion; innovation; and courage. Actually, these are values also that are advertised in the school where they attend to, in terms of integrity, right? So it's doing the right things even no one's looking. So this is something that we put so much emphasis to the kids because they will grow up, and we always instill in them that integrity is something that you should always protect because your name is very important. What you do now will follow you when you grow up. And of course, compassion. Compassion is one of the things that it's really dear to our hearts. I recall sometime in early 2000, I think 2001 to 2003, the the main medium of communications for migrant workers back then is through IDD. So it's through telephone. So they are racking up bills. Some of them are spending more than 10, 15, 20% of their salary. So I saw an opportunity to help our provides our migrant workers to introduce them to video chat. There's no I remember there's no smartphones back then, so it's through through computers, but significantly their communications costs were significantly reduced, and they were able to see for the first time their loved ones in the Philippines. For example, there was one there was one particular session that I had back then where one of my former students in that computer literacy program, she left the Philippines when just I think a month after giving birth. So then when we had this video chat session, I can see her touching the screen because that's the first time that she saw her baby. So it was profound for me, and that gives me motivation to find more opportunity to use the skills and the knowledge that I have to impart this to our fellow.
I was teaching in a university here in Hong Kong. I was an assistant professor in an Asian International Studies field. And I think that was 2015 to 2019, 2018, around that time. And there was an opportunity for me to meet a businessman who asked about my research, and I allowed him to read my dissertation. My recommendation at that time during my research was to provide a platform for migrant workers to have access to financial institutions that are ethical and also very friendly to migrant workers in a way that they will provide financial literacy, because knowing the migration landscape here in Hong Kong, many migrant workers who came here, they don't have any idea about how things are in Hong Kong, how easy it is to be scammed, or there are many practices that you don't usually read in newspapers or even in the mainstream media. So what was helpful back then was when we do financial literacy classes, it's giving information to these migrant workers that would allow them to have a successful migration journey. So it's like telling them, giving them like information, warnings, red flags that they should avoid for them not to be scammed, things like that.
I think one of the things that we do to instill that value of community work to our kids is through example. So we show them how involved we are in things that are outside, for example, outside the family activities, outside the church activities. And I remember there was a conversation that we had in one of our community that I believe I was along the line that our purpose is not about the things that we do. It's about what happens to others when we do the things that we do. So that for me is quite it's deep, but then we were able to impart that to the kids by showing them exactly how the people benefit from the things that we are doing, right? In helping the community. So I believe there was one time when in one of our vacations, we brought them to a banana or pineapple plantation, right?
Yes.
So before they take those fruits and foods at the table, but then when we brought them to how exactly those foods or fruits gets into our table, the hard work that was put into that to make it happen. The next day, they make sure that they finish it because they realize that there's a lot of hard work in having this banana on our in our table. So I think that's one good way. It's like experiential learning. Is that how they call it?
And another thing that we did before was uh, my daughters are fluent in Cantonese, so we always encourage them to help kids who are non-Chinese speakers, to help these kids in doing their homeworks. Because back then, we always remind them when you were small, there were people who helped us as well. So it's like giving back to the community or to our group of friends, like help them as well in answering their homework, things like that, reviews before exams, because they became fluent in that particular language, in Cantonese, in Mandarin, not just because you're good, but because there are other people who help you. So the value of
Paying it forward.
paying it forward, yeah.
So the biggest trial of our family, I would say, would be when we learned that our youngest, Ella, was diagnosed with ASD or autism syndrome disorder. We we felt, of course, being a parent, you felt disheartened. Um, there was a point in time where you were asking questions why, right? But then we realized that God gives gift in different packages. So when Ella was diagnosed with ASD, that's the time when we had to find an opportunity, one, to be able to support her intervention. Because back then, when I was in my previous company, in my previous school, I thought that I would retire there because I have a very good team, I have a very good working environment, but then to support Ella's intervention, it won't be enough. So our prayer back then was for God to give us enough so that we can support Ella's needs.
When we found out that Ella has ASD or autism, we have no idea what autism is. So we checked, we Googled, we asked from our friends. So before 3 years old, Ella regressed. She knows how to sing, knows the alphabet, numbers, but then before 3 years old, she seems to forget everything. She forgot everything. There's developmental delay, and then we've seen red flags that you can see to any autistic kids: tiptoe, no eye contact, and really had difficulty in communicating. So we found a way to have Ella checked with a developmental pediatrician, and also confirmed by the government authority here in Hong Kong. Usually it's a health institution who will provide you with an assessment that your daughter has autism. I remember we were in a hospital in Kowloon and we're waiting for the result. And Marlon was asking, what if Ella has autism? Because we didn't know back then. So what if Ella has autism? And I told you, so what? You will only accept a daughter who's perfect. It's like what if our daughter has some disability and you will be upset to God? So that was the time when I think we're tested, right? Like when you said that you receive presents in different packages, and what if you have this package? Are you going to feel bad, or you will see what would this present be? Like what's the impact of this present to our family? So back then, when we received the news, our perception, our attitude, we have this positive attitude right away. That okay, we will going to accept it, whatever the assessment is. So it was a crucial moment for my husband and I, because we felt that we're tested and we know what to do right away, what particular perception or how are we going to accept it. And it was honestly easy after that, right?
So my church duties really played so much role in what I am today, especially in facing difficulties, those stress at the work. Because whenever I'm in that moment where I feel really low and you're almost giving up, and when you that remaining strength that you have after that stressful day at work, and you still go to perform your duties, right? The moment that you bow your head and pray, it's like there's that sudden boost of energy and renewed strength. And especially when there are many times when the lesson in the worship service is actually like it's God talking to you that, hey, you'll be okay. This is temporary, and you are not alone. So there are many moments like that. So that's why I'm really grateful that we are church officers. One, it instilled in us the value of the community, serving, right? Doing everything for purpose. And of course, that strength that you cannot get from anywhere, that special spiritual experience that you cannot get from anywhere, you can only get from inside the church, inside the house of worship, and every time we pray. So that, for me, is the greatest gift from being a church officer.
As a finance officer in our local and as an active church officer, we always hear teachings in the church as well as instructions from the church administration about helping those in need. So in Hong Kong, I've been here for almost 2 decades, and being a migration specialist as well, I'm very aware of the issues faced by migrant workers in Hong Kong. So the blessings that we have, it's not just for you, but you're actually an instrument for these blessings to flow to other people so that you can help them. So that has been my motto in life. Like whatever you have, you should also share it, and you should also help, which also coincides with what the church administration has been teaching us and the teachings of God to help people in need. So in Hong Kong, we have been very active in our INC giving, in different activities where we help migrant workers in Hong Kong. We provide different groceries, toiletries, especially to vulnerable groups of migrant workers. And elderlies and other organizations where we give donations that would directly benefit those people who are maybe homeless or those in difficult situations in Hong Kong.
My name is Sister Daisy Galam. My family and I are very close with the Arenas family, especially Kamarlan and Kajoy. The impact that they made in our lives is very noticeable and evident. I've known them for several years. I've known them since my children were little, and even before my husband has a duty or an office in the church. One of the most admirable quality that the Arenas family have is their dedication and hard work in performing their duties. It is truly inspirational for us to see how they raise their children as well. And no matter what happens in their lives, no matter what hindrances or trials they face, they've always been steadfast, and it's very encouraging and inspiring to know that there's a family like that, and I am very grateful. My family and I are very grateful that we get to be a part of the Arenas family's journey in this life. Another thing that we really admire about the Arenas family is that they're always willing to help. They're always willing to reach out and give a hand to those in need. Apart from their charities that they've done in the Philippines, I remember when I was still starting as an officer in the district multimedia, they also donated some laptops for the district multimedia to use, and it has been they were very helpful because at the time the satellite studio of Hong Kong was still starting up, and not all of us have experience in technology or computers, and because of the donation that they managed to give us, all of us learned how to edit videos and create promo videos and different things using the computers. And it's not a small thing to do, so it has made a very big impact on where the district multimedia is now, because all of us who learn from them are able to pass that experiences to the newly appointed officers in the district multimedia as well. Every person that gets inspired by the Arenas family is very fortunate to have known them, and I'm glad to say, and I'm very grateful to say, that I really treasure being a part of the Arenas family's journey.
Hi, I'm Erin Say. I'm 17 years old. I'm currently a high school student, and I'm a CWS officer in the locale of Hong Kong East. For fun, I'd say I really enjoy reading and rewatching movies.
Hi, I'm Kate. I'm 14 years old and I'm a CWS officer. I also really enjoy reading and also playing table tennis. And this is our younger sister Ella. She's 11 years old. Ella, say hi.
Say hi, Al.
A dream of mine that I've had since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old is to become a teacher. This also motivates me to continue learning and studying and really get comfortable with the materials I learn in class so that I'm able to help and support my peers that need it. Seeing the impact that my previous teachers have had on me, I'm really inspired to do the same for my friends. Through doing book drives, me and Ate were able to share our love for books with those who may not have access to them. Seeing their joy and appreciation when they received the books felt especially rewarding and heartwarming for the both of us. We usually bond with Ella by going out on walks with her and also helping her with simple play therapy. During the summer, while mom and dad were traveling, I helped her practice fine motor skills. And I felt that it was a really good opportunity to spend more time with Ella, as I don't usually get to do so during the school year. Being a CWS officer gives us an opportunity to find time to serve our Almighty God amidst our very busy schedules. During worship services, we would pray for success in our academics and our daily life.
I think one of my driving motivations to work hard in school would be my parents. At around the 9th grade, I think I decided that I really wanted to repay the hard work my parents did. I saw how my dad worked long hours, how my mom would try to balance between work and managing the whole family. So I thought the least that I could do was to get good grades and be able to show them that I'm trying my best at school. So from that, I was able to get honor roll academic distinction for, I think, 5 semesters in a row. And from that, I was able to get the Lion Academic Scholarship, which was awarded to, I think, 1 to 2 students per year. And aside from that, my parents do a lot of charity work. I think they tell me and Kate about the importance of giving back and helping those who are less fortunate than us. So from that, I've based my sophomore project on helping kids with ASD and helping them find cheap or low-cost therapy services. Because right now in Hong Kong, it's a bit expensive, and having a sister with ASD, I'm able to see the prices and the struggles first-handedly. So from that, I was able to develop a whole organization that can help even more people. Ever since my sister and I were young, we were given exposure to a lot of charity events because our parents really like to host book drives or fundraisers that would help the community back in the Philippines. So back then we had a book drive we hosted at some school, and we would collect books from all these kids and send them back to the Philippines. And I remember I was actually able to help distribute the books back in the Philippines. And I think it was a really great experience for me because from that I was building on to my high school career. When I joined student council, I took initiative to start book drives, but instead of sending them to the Philippines, we gathered the funds and donated money to people in war zone areas or so on. And I think my parents just really have pushed me to do better in that sense. So when Ella was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3, I remember I was confused at first because I was only 9 at the time. So I did my own research, I guess, and I think I scared myself from that. But over time I learned more about it, and I just really wanted to help out because I heard my parents discussing over the fees of how expensive the therapies would be. And from that, I realized that there should be something done to help with Ella. So I always try to build a bond with Ella. I know right now my schedule is a bit hectic, but after school, sometimes we go to the park outside. But yeah, spending quality time with her was really important to building an actual relationship or bond with her. As a CWS officer in the church, I think it's really shaped my way of thinking or getting around things. Back then, when I'd have an exam or maybe a test coming up, I'd just study and wish myself good luck, I guess. But now that I'm a bit older, I find that praying would help me a lot. I remember when I was waiting for the honor roll results, I would pray every single night because I was really scared. So yeah, I think prayer became a really big part of my life because of that.
Even in tough times, we pray and we hold on to hope. And we share this by giving others hope through charity work. That's the power of giving.
Thank you for joining us on CFO Today International. Through helping others, you give others hope. Bye!
The Arenas family has reminded us that no matter how busy life gets, Staying true to values like education, charity, and faith can lead to a more meaningful life. Their commitment to helping others despite their own challenges is a powerful reminder of how even the smallest acts of kindness can spark hope and leave a lasting impact. What small acts can you and I do today to bring about positive change in our communities? And remember that it only takes one step to make a difference. Thank you for joining us here on CFO Today International. Let's keep inspiring one another through kindness and action. See you next time.